faculty development, and are actively involved in research and development programs. Dr. Avantika Raina holds a doctorate degree in management, PGDM in marketing and IT, MA in personnel management and industrial, and a bachelor degree in social work from University of Delhi. She teaches subjects such as human resource management, human resource development, CSR, business communication, and ethics. She published 12 papers in national as well as international journals and two edited books to her credit. On the behalf of KC Group of Institutions, I welcome you, ma'am. Now, platform is all yours. Over to you.
Uh, Good morning, everybody. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, so thank you so much, Nidosh, for introducing me. Okay, so today the topic which has been given, or probably which I have chosen myself, is about entrepreneurship. It is about innovation. It is about what leads after innovation and what are the kind of career choices an entrepreneur would probably land into after they have gone through the whole process of being an entrepreneur, right? Okay, so to start with, entrepreneur first of all. So there's a lot of debate over people who are, as in we say that there are people who are from small businesses are entrepreneurs. There are people who are doing their family businesses are entrepreneurs. So maybe at the end of the session, we might get to know that who is an entrepreneur, right? Okay, so if we talk about what my sense says, that entrepreneurship basically refers, it's kind of a platform where individuals have the willingness and the power to take risk, right? And manage their own business, also managing the kind of risk which is involved with that particular business. So it is probably taking the risk choice. It's about creativity. It is about planning. It is about organizing. It is about streamlining and managing a whole new gamut of a business platform by creating a position which is evolved in the global market sector, right? So basically a platform where individuals could be able to create their own job position and not work for somebody else, right? So my sense of entrepreneur is this, right? So it allows you to work for your own self, probably build up a business environment which you would like people to work in with full confidence, effort, and diligently working to streamline your business process, which would probably lead to standardization, right? That is what my sense of my understanding of an entrepreneur would be. There can be people who might differ on it, so it's always welcome. My slides are my slides visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Nirdosh, are you able to see the? Okay, fine. So what is
Yes, ma'am.
entrepreneurship, right? I think it's more about the desire. It is more about the kind of persistence you have in yourself and the confidence, right? So it starts with idea leading to collaboration, which is the probably the highest skill an entrepreneur should have, which is networking, right? Development. So once you collaborate, once you have people who would be able to fund you, then you start developing your prototype. Then support. The goal is the kind of objective you have set for your business to achieve, or that which is something which you had started with, right? So first and the foremost, among the personal characteristics of being an entrepreneur as a budding business owner, that you must have the drive to succeed. That's the most important thing. You must be able to envision your business succeeding. All of us must be uh, very enthusiastic to know about manifestations, right? That's like in thing these days. So it's about more about manifestation. So when we say envision, we're talking about manifesting what we have, what we want to achieve at the end of this particular process. You must be willing to do whatever it takes you to ensure that you succeed or your business succeeds, and probably have large and more established competitors, but your desire to succeed will help you to take an advantage over them. right? So it's kind of a first mover advantage, which would lead you to become a good entrepreneur or a successful startup or an entrepreneurship program. You must also have instilled in you the desire in everyone for your employees to probably feel comfortable with you, right? Having a drive to succeed also means setting higher and higher goals for an organization. So this keeps the company growing and excelling. So wherever you stop, right, that would be the point which would lead to stagnation, and which would lead not the company to grow. And if that persists over a period of time, it would also lead to the company leading to a decline stage, right? Okay. Now coming to the next thing where we are talking about entrepreneur mindset, right? So basically, people who are entrepreneurs or who have a mindset of being an entrepreneur are referred to as innovators or individuals who make their profit by starting up or running up their own business. Although it could involve a threat in the business platform by bearing up the financial risk which are attached to being an entrepreneur, but it also helps you to probably reward yourself once it becomes a successful venture. In other sense, the entrepreneur are known as the risk bearers or innovators since they add their own ideas in their business and startups, right? So what is an entrepreneur mindset, right? Okay. So if when we come to the characteristics of an entrepreneur mindset, it is seeing and creating opportunities. So creative thinking, innovation strategy, not being content with the status quo. So you are always thriving for excelling more and more, right? And finding the right measures for success. So benchmarking is also very important aspect of an entrepreneurial mindset. It is not about just creating one standard and then being very happy with attaining that particular standard. So once you attain one standard, move to the other higher level standard or the benchmark which you want to achieve after that. So what after that? Let's say we have started an entrepreneurial journey and we said that in the first 5 years I should be able to probably have uh, 50 employees with me, right? That's one benchmark. Every department would have a different benchmark. So once you have achieved the target of 50 employees in the first 5 years, so you should not stop there. You should be aiming higher and higher. That is what is meant by finding the right measure for success. Now, this could be a measure in terms of market share. This could be a measure in terms of profitability. This could be a measure in terms of how many employees you have been able to retain in those particular 5 years, right? The second characteristic of an entrepreneurial mindset is turning ideas into action. See, all of us get ideas. बाथरूम में नहाते नहाते भी आइडिया आता है, किचन में खाना बनाते बनाते भी आइडिया आता है, बट how many of us are able to put those ideas into action or probably uh, make them real, right? So that's the second characteristic of an entrepreneurial mindset. Implementing innovation strategies, creating the right pace for change, balancing innovation and operational effectiveness, personal and team effectiveness. So whatever idea you have, unless you're not able to put that idea into action or implement that idea, innovate on it, or probably have an operational efficiency. अगर आप उसे implement भी कर रहे हैं लेकिन आप उसको operate ही नहीं कर पा रहे, शुरू ही नहीं हो पा रहा है, right? And there is no effectiveness in terms of personal achievements or team achievements, then it is just an idea. It has not probably moved from being an idea to a kind of business venture we wanted it to. So the second characteristic of an entrepreneurial mindset is turning your ideas into action, putting life into your ideas, right? The third characteristic which they are talking about is leading the way, right? So I just talked about that. You, an entrepreneur is somebody who takes risk and probably is able to compete in the market, right? So leading the way is competing in the market, right? So you might have a first mover advantage. Let's talk about Chayos, right? Chayos, why did it flourish so well? Because it had that first mover advantage. It was a very innovative product. leading, there has always been a concept of coffee shops, right? Or coffee lounges, barista, cafe coffee day, Starbucks, and so on. But there was never a concept of a tea lounge, right? So it led the way by introducing that concept into the market. So leadership and delegation, employee engagement, developing an entrepreneurial mindset in others, and removing barriers to entrepreneurial approaches. That's how you lead the way, right? Your idea has turned into action, and that action has turned into something which would help also to lead or probably follow you. Now you would see that there are other tea launches also. You have a Wagh Bakri tea launch. Then there are small joints who have opened a tea launch. Now it is not always all about coffee. It is about tea. It is about variety of tea, right? So that's what is meant by leading the way. Next mindset or the characteristic of an entrepreneur should be using the resources smartly. So whatever resources you have, resources can be in terms of men, machinery, infrastructure. You need to use all those resources very judiciously. You don't need to waste them. You don't need to probably undermine them also. ऐसा नहीं है कि पैसा है तो बचा के रखा है कि आगे काम आएगा. जहां जरूरत है, wherever it is required, you would have to put that amount of money, put that amount of resource into use so that you are able to develop a culture of innovation, right? Commercialization and smart use of available resources. Use your resources also to incentivize and reward for new ways of working from your team members. That is how you would be able to retain people in the organization who have since the beginning, right? For any startup idea, right? One major important thing is that you should be able to retain your people who have been with you since the inception, right? I would not say that all the people would be with you, but at least 50% of your chunk should be able to be with you in the first 5-7 years, right? That is only when you are able to incentivize them, reward them, use your resource to their full capacity, maximum utilization, right? The next characteristic is managing risk, the most important characteristic. So changing from a risk-averse culture where we are avoiding risk, अच्छा पैसा बचा लेते हैं, कल यहाँ काम आएगा, move to a culture where you are probably inviting risk, right? So learning from your failures, anticipating and overcoming likely barriers, encouraging and supporting risk taking in higher education. I've just given an example, right? So it can be any industry. I've taken education because we're from the education industry. So you need to probably do away with the mindset where you are trying to save for a rainy day. अच्छा अभी बचा लेते हैं आगे काम आएगा. नहीं, you would have to probably take that risk. आपको ये नहीं पता अभी ये रिस्क नहीं लिया तो क्या पता आगे हमारा आइडिया जो है वो implement होगा भी या नहीं, right? So risk taking capacity or managing risk is very important. Lastly but not the least, collaborating to create a shared value. So collaboration is the key to an entrepreneurial success. Collaboration is about networking. It is about engaging with other businesses and industries. We are talking about diversification, creating an economic, social value, because that is how the business survives, and the evidence of impact, right? How much impact has your business been able to make over a period of time? कितना फर्क पड़ा है आपके बिजनेस से मार्केट में, राइट? आई शो स्टोरी अगेन. तो पहले सिर्फ जहां कॉफी हुआ करती थी वहां पे अब टी भी है, राइट? So that's the kind of impact we are talking about. So collaborating so that you're able to share your values with other factors also. We're talking about the economic factors, we're talking about the social factors, we're talking about the cultural factors, right? So these are the basic 6 characteristics of an entrepreneur mindset. Now, if you look at this particular picture, there are 2 mindsets with us. One mindset is about a fixed mindset. The other mindset is a growth mindset, right? So the blue one on the left-hand side is for somebody who's an entrepreneur in budding, right? The fixed mindset is for somebody who's probably averse to taking risk, is happy doing a 9-to-5 job, probably doesn't see any potential in himself or herself, right? So they're happy with whatever they're getting. But on the other side, there's somebody who's not happy with whatever he's getting or she's getting. They want to achieve, they want to move forward. So if you look at the one on the left hand side, it says failure is an opportunity to grow. जैसे हम research में बोलते हैं ना कि whenever we try to probably figure out a research topic, what do? We try to look out for previous researches on the same topic where there would be certain loopholes or certain questions unanswered. Similarly is the case of a growth mindset or an entrepreneur mindset, where every failure would probably give them a loophole, which would be a next venture for them, right? So it says, I can learn to do anything I want. Challenges help me to grow better. My effort and attitude determine my abilities. Feedback is constructive. So feedback is not something which is to be taken negatively. It is also always to be taken in a way that, okay, fine, these are my loopholes, or probably these are the areas where I'm weak, or it's a threat area, and I need to probably push myself up in those particular areas. I'm inspired by the success of others. I like to try. Obviously, the left-hand side is a mindset of an entrepreneur or somebody who's an innovator or somebody who would back out because it's a risk which is involved in doing that particular venture. On the right-hand side, it says failure is the limit of my abilities. So my ability is only limited to the failure. I'm either good at it or I'm not. So I'm not trying at all. That is what I want to say, right? Then it says my abilities are unchanging. I'm not able to unlearn and learn. I don't like to be challenged. I can either do it or I cannot do it at all. My potential is predetermined. तो अगर बॉस ने बोला कि आप बस इसी काम में एक्सपर्ट हैं, तो मैं इसी काम में एक्सपर्ट रह जाऊंगा. I would not try and I would not probably help myself to grow better, right? When I'm frustrated, I give up. Feedback and criticism are personal, so I take it to my heart. ओहो, आज बॉस ने बोला कि तुम किसी काम के नहीं हो, तुम्हें इससे अच्छा तो तुम इस organization. So I take it very personally. That I feel sad about it, and then I don't come to the job for few days. Then probably I think, अच्छा ठीक है, boss का तो काम बोलना ही है. I'll still do the same work, right? I stick to what I know. So again, it is a kind of mindset where you don't want to learn new things, where you don't want to develop your capabilities. So there are two different mindset. One mindset is a growth mindset. The other mindset is a fixed mindset. So who's an innovator, who's a risk-taking person, who's somebody who would like to probably challenge himself or herself, would have a growth mindset. But somebody who's already happy with whatever content in terms of that, I don't want to take any kind of a risk. I don't want to develop. I don't want to probably push myself. Hard work nahi karna chahta hu, right? Agar hum simple terms mein bole, it's a fixed mindset. Now, coming to the journey of success, right? So there are two portions of this particular diagram. If you see, the upper somebody who's with a fixed mindset, but in the lower half is for somebody who's a growth mindset person. So if you see the upper half, it says makes a better life, finds a mentor, invests in them, and then gets support from friends and inspires others to change for better, right? Somebody who's very happy doing a 9 to 5 job, no risk, हर महीने सैलरी आ रही है, इतने से ही काम चलेगा. जब बढ़ेगी सैलरी तो सबकी बढ़ेगी, नहीं बढ़ेगी तो मेरी भी नहीं बढ़ेगी, ठीक है? Now coming to somebody who's probably not happy with, they want to probably move to the next level, and for that they're willing to probably take risk, redevelop themselves, unlearn and learn, right? So learns a new skill. Friend, don't support the changes. Nothing serves to the work. Keeps improving. Thinks about quitting. Remembers. Knows working and finds success. So these are again the process of people with two different mindset. One with a growth mindset, the other with a fixed mindset. Right? Who's happy and content with whatever I have, somebody who probably wants to achieve more than whatever he or she has, right? Now, coming to the entrepreneur manifesto, right? Now, you need to, the first thing which I said that is that you need to manifest. आप अपना business कैसा देखना चाहते हैं over a certain period of time. जब तक आप उसको visualize नहीं करेंगे, unless and until you don't envision your success, you would probably, you are just doing the half of your hard work, right? So now, how do you manifest the entrepreneur in yourself? So you say that I'm good at prioritization. I can make it happen. I'm good at making decisions. I earn my own living. I overcome obstacles. I learn from my poor decisions. So these are all things which are a constructive feedback to your own self. This is not something which probably people will tell you. This is something which you need to tell yourself every day in and out. Morning mein uthe, I'm good at my work. I'll be able to achieve it. Today is a successful day. Whatever decision I've made, I'll stick with it. मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ that आपने जो भी decision लिया है, आपके decisions गलत भी हो सकते हैं, right? आपके decision neutral भी हो सकते हैं, आपके decision सही भी हो सकते हैं. But what is important is that whatever you have decided, right? You need to stick with that particular thing. ये नहीं बोलना अच्छा वो हो गलती हो गई, अच्छा अगली बार नहीं करूँगा. This अगली बार नहीं करूँगा is a problem. Okay, I'll do it next time. I'll do it better than what I did the last time. That is what is manifestation, right? Okay, then you are talking about earning, right? So what is important at the first moment is that you're earning for your own self. पूछना नहीं पड़ रहा, किसी से मांगना नहीं पड़ रहा, हर महीने सैलरी का वेट करना नहीं पड़ रहा, right? So whatever you are earning, that is your own hard work. That is your own hard-earned money. You are your own boss, right? Learn from your poor decisions. So once you learn from your poor decisions, that would lead to making good decisions, right? And overcome obstacles. We are going to talk about obstacles in the next few slides, that what are the kind of obstacles an entrepreneur would probably have in the journey of being a good entrepreneur or an entrepreneur in totality, right? Okay. Now, this is a data which says that there are certain key traits of a serial entrepreneur, right? So based on a control group of around 17,000 working adults, a serial entrepreneur tested above and below average in the following skills. So they had few skills which were above average and few which were below average. Now it says above or below the control group's average. So persuasion 1.17, leadership 1.02, personal accountability 0.86, goal oriented 8, interpersonal skills 0.03. So persuasion, if you see, is the highest, right? Persuasion is एक चीज के पीछे पड़ जाना. That's persuasion, right? So you don't probably feel defeated after just one failure, two failure, three failure. You keep on trying. You don't leave that topic unless and until you are able to probably figure it out, that how it is to be done, how it is to be achieved. Now coming to things which are below the group's average: problem solving, empathy, planning and organizing, and self-management. So these are, as I said, so this feedback is to be taken constructively. इसको personal नहीं लेना है, ओहो इसने तो मुझे ये बोल दिया कि मुझे ना self management आता नहीं है. You don't have to feel bad about it. You have to think in a very lateral way, right? That okay, these are the areas where probably I need to work a little harder than the other areas, right? So this is how probably a skill set of an entrepreneur should look like, right? Okay. Now again, coming to these skills an entrepreneur should have. So leadership is one. The first leader you are is for your own self, right? Curiosity is that ऐसा हुआ तो ऐसा क्यों नहीं हुआ, right? अच्छा ये मैंने किया था लेकिन फिर भी सही नहीं हुआ. So where is the loophole? Where did I go wrong, right? Or where is there something which probably I did not take care of? That's curiosity. अच्छा ऐसा product बना पे क्या आएगा? So curiosity को maintain करने के लिए you would have to probably do a lot of research. That's the main important thing, right? Then risk taking. As I said, जब तक risk नहीं लेंगे आप entrepreneur नहीं बन सकते हैं. चाहे आपके पास बाकी कितना भी mindset, because it's about putting your own money. It's about probably putting people's money who would be your angel investors, right? Tenacity. Tenacity is धीरे 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 चलते जाना, right? आप ये सोचे कि ओवरनाइट ग्रोथ हो जाएगा, it would not happen. हम हमेशा बात करते हैं बिजनेस में ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट की, तो वो तो तब होता है जब बिजनेस की बात करें. यहाँ तो हम एंटरप्रेन्योर की बात करें ना. आप सिंगल आर्मी, सिंगल वन मैन आर्मी है, तो टेनासिटी एज कंपेयर टू योर बिजनेस वुड बी मच लॉन्गर, राइट? देन एबिलिटी टू लर्न, आई वुड से एबिलिटी टू अनलर्न एंड लर्न. आपको जो पता है हो सकता है वो ऑब्सलीट हो सकता है कुछ नया आ गया हो. सो वट एवर यू हैव लर्नड प्रीवियसली, यू नीड टू अनलर्न इट एंड लर्न द न्यू थिंग. देन नेटवर्किंग. जितना लोगों से मिलेंगे, जितना लोगों से बात करेंगे, जितना उनका परसेप्शन समझने की कोशिश करेंगे, उतना ही आपको फायदा होगा. दैट इज हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू बी एट द राइट. एंड मास्टरिंग सोशल मीडिया, ये मुझे बताने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. इन द एज ऑफ इंस्टाग्राम और क्या क्या आता है, स्नैपचैट, राइट, ट्विटर, मास्टरिंग सोशल मीडिया इज अ मस्ट. टेकिंग ऑफ सोशल मीडिया, ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है ऑफ बीइंग अ वेरी गुड एंटरप्रेन्योर और बीइंग और हैविंग द स्किल्स ऑफ एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, राइट? Okay. Also, other than this, there are other skills also, which is about improving the standard of living. So it is not only about improving your own standard, क्योंकि आप boss है. It is also about improving the standard of your employees who are working for you. Make your backseat at the moment, but it is important for you to probably take care of your employees, right? And also you need to have a vision. आने वाले 5 साल में आप अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को कहाँ देखना चाहते हैं, आने वाले 10 साल में आप क्या सोच रहे हैं, राइट? दैट्स विजन. व्हाई विजन इज ऑलवेज अ शॉर्ट टर्म गोल, राइट? इट इज नॉट समथिंग व्हिच इज लॉन्ग टर्म. लॉन्ग टर्म तो आप तब अचीव करेंगे जब आप एक प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी के एक सर्टेन स्केल पे आ जाएंगे, उसके बाद आप मिशन की बात कर सकते हैं. बट विजन इज समवेयर बिटवीन 5 every 5 years आपका विजन बदलता रहना चाहिए for good, reaching higher standards. Now, coming to the kind of obstructions or probably obstacles which are there in the career of being an entrepreneur, right? Self-doubt, I would say, is the most important. पता नहीं मैं कर पाऊंगा या नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं कि मैं सारा पैसा डूब जाएगा, फिर क्या होगा, right? अगर फेल हो गया तो, अगर बिजनेस नहीं चला तो, if I am not able to make profit which I have probably promised to my investors, then what? 4 बार कर लिया फिर फेल हो गया तो, right? So please don't doubt yourself. You would have to probably take every failure as a step forward and not as a step back. जब तक आप अपने पे कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं रखेंगे, आपके ऊपर. So be confident about whatever you're doing. That's what I said. Whatever decision you have made, stick to it. Right or wrong, वो बाद में देखेंगे. That's a consequence of a business. You cannot probably figure out the consequences at the beginning. हो सकता है आपको थोड़ा बहुत अंदाजा हो, या you are able to do it because of the market research which you have done. But the market conditions keep on changing. You never know. आज से 10 साल पहले जिसने सोना खरीदा होगा, उसने कभी नहीं सोचा होगा कि सोने का रेट 70,000 हो जाएगा. Right? So that's a constant. बदलता रहेगा. So stop doubting yourself. Have confidence. That's the first thing. Then the other kind of obstruction is inadequate funds. पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? Who will pay me? मेरे पास जितना है, that is not sufficient. So for that you have angel investors, Shark Tank, the best example you people have these days, right? So पैसा देने वाले बहुत है, but आपका business idea वर्केबल होना चाहिए, इम्प्लीमेंटेटिव होना चाहिए. अभी पीछे शार्क टैंक पे एक बिजनेस आइडिया आया था which was about some I don't know couple chair or which was all, I don't know how would it work, how many people would try to buy it. Maybe another 10 years 15 years down the line it might work, right? But at this point of time it is not something where probably the sharks would like to invest. या ऐसे products जो already market में भरे पड़े, right? So they would not like to. You need to make your product or your offering very different. It should be unique. That's what is innovation. So if it's unique, people would invest money, right? They would not probably step back. शुरू में कम हो सकता है, but yes, they would always invest. The reason is lack of entrepreneurial knowledge. So हम बोलते हैं ना कि धीरू भाई अंबानी ने तो कभी पढ़ाई की ही नहीं थी, सॉरी, तो फिर भी वो एंटरप्रेन्योर बन गए. The times were very different. We're talking about digitalization. We are talking about social media. तो ये theoretical background होना भी बहुत जरूरी है. So you need to have a certain background or process knowledge. Yes, is there any doubt? There's a lot of noise.
I think someone
Can
were
you please mute
unmuted.
everyone?
Yeah.
Please mute some. That's okay. Okay. So the next obstruction we're talking about is mentoring and industry, lack of mentoring and industry network, right? So nowadays, whosoever will be your investor would also be your mentor, right? Nobody would like to invest in something which they don't know themselves. So once you find a good investor, you'll also find a good mentor, right? Networking again is a key to being a good entrepreneur. So you would have to spend time within people from industry where your product or service belongs to, right? And last but not the least is risk. Risk लूं या नहीं, right? Risk तो लेना पड़ेगा अगर business generate करना है. If you want to become an entrepreneur, if you are an innovator, if you are somebody who would like to probably take up new challenges, so you have to take risk. Without risk, you can gain. So no pain, no gain, right? Okay. So this slide is talking about women entrepreneurs, but it is generalized. I would not say that it's only about women, that there are certain things which you need to remember as an entrepreneur, but for everybody, it is beyond gender that I'm talking about, that 5 crucial things that entrepreneurs should always remember. Have a vision. That's what I said. Where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? Don't distract from society. Don't probably try to be somebody or somewhere which is excluding society as a member of your business. Always try to keep the social values intact. Don't harm those, right? Believe in yourself, have that confidence. Even failure is a confidence, right? Fail होने के बाद रोज क्लास आके बैठना अपने आप में एक अलग confidence है. The students can understand that, right? Stay strong. You'll have a few setbacks, obviously. ऐसा नहीं है कि जो entrepreneur होता है जाते ही business बड़ा 100% profit आ जाता है. थोड़े बहुत setbacks, थोड़े बहुत नहीं, बहुत ज्यादा setbacks आएंगे, right? So probably stick to it. You don't need to probably move backward, but at least be at the same point where you are, and be लगातार लगे रहे. You will not probably budge from what we have probably thought as a business idea or as a service. So जब तक आप अपने business idea से stick करें, right? It would not let you down. It's only your confidence in that business idea which would lead the way forward, right? So it says, don't give up. The beginning is always the hardest. First day school जाते हैं तब भी difficult लगता है. First day college जाते हैं तो भी difficult लगता है. First day job जाते हैं तो भी difficult लगता है. तो जब बाकी सब चीजों में we are able to overcome that difficulty over a period of time, why would we not be able to overcome the difficulty when we are our own boss? उसमें भी आएगी ना difficulty. So stick to it. Don't give up. The beginnings are always hard. It's very important, consistent and consistent in the kind of work which you want to do, right? Now, we're talking about the entrepreneurial career choices here. So there are certain factors which would probably decide on the kind of choices you have. So individual factors such as need for achievement, need for control, tolerance of ambiguity. So पहला फैक्टर पहला parameter क्या है कि as an individual, what are the kind of factors that would decide whether you want to become an entrepreneur or not, or pick up it as a career or not? Then comes the support kitna hai, community support. That's what I said. Don't do something which is out of the society, out of the culture. You will not get the community support at that point of time. Then who is your role model? सबके रोल मॉडल होते ना. अभी तक तो जनता के रोल मॉडल धीरूभाई अंबानी थे, बियानी था, राइट. अब हमारे रोल मॉडल चेंज हो गए. अब हमारे रोल मॉडल क्या है? All the sharks, right? Then comes the economic factor. Lack of alternatives in existing organizations. Obviously, this would probably pull your mind towards being your own boss. Economic growth or business opportunities in the areas where you want to probably start your entrepreneurs. Availability of resources and networks. Then, other than these three important factors, it's your early child business family से आते, वो देखते हैं, बोलते हैं हमें business ही करना है. We would like to be our own boss. Work experience, education, prior startup experience, and peer influence, right? These are certain factors which would help you to decide whether you would like to take entrepreneurship as a career or not. Now, this is a slide. I'll share all my slides with you. You can take up these later. It is talking about entrepreneurship as a career choice. So it is talking about different things which would lead people to think about it as a career, right? Now, coming to types of entrepreneur. Business type, you can be a trading entrepreneur, you can be a manufacturing entrepreneur, you can be an agricultural entrepreneur. If you have heard about Two Brothers Organic Farm, it's an agricultural entrepreneur, right? If you look at, if you study about agricultural entrepreneurs, most of them are situated in the hilly regions of Himachal, Uttarakhand, and major parts of Maharashtra, right? Based on technology, you can be a technical entrepreneur or you can be a non-technical entrepreneur who used to come on that channel, which was who used to tell about the gadgets, the latest gadgets in the market. That's a technical entrepreneur, right? कभी हमने सोचा that we would take help of somebody to tell us कि कौन सा मोबाइल फोन अच्छा है, कौन सा iPad अच्छा है, कौन सा लैपटॉप अच्छा है, ठीक है? Based on ownership, it can be a private entrepreneur, it can be a state entrepreneur, and you can be a joint entrepreneur. Based on gender, men, women. Obviously, I should have marked this out. Based on gender, आप entrepreneur होते हैं या नहीं होते हैं, ठीक है? Based on the size of your enterprise, small scale entrepreneurs, medium scale entrepreneurs, and large scale entrepreneurs. Based on the clearance of DENOP, we would leave this. It is depending upon the kind of political structure or the kind of government policies you have, right? Now, you would have to think that what kind of entrepreneur you want to become as a career choice. The hustler, the innovator, the machine, the prodigy, the student, right? These are, so if you look at the hustler, it says the hustler is 15% in agreeableness, 25% in consciousness, and 25% extroversion. Somebody who's like a people's person, right? Then comes the innovator. 10% of openness, 5% of intelligence, 15%, and so on. The strategist, openness, emotional stability. And the visionary, openness 20%, fluid intelligence 10%, and extroversion 40%. Now, you can be an entrepreneur almost like any field which you think you will be able to do it, right? ऐसा कोई ऐसा field नहीं है जहाँ पे entrepreneurship जो है limited हो जाता है. If I look at people, अभी के time में it's been more about women being entrepreneurs in social sectors. If you've heard the name of Momo Mami, she was somebody who was here with her husband in Gurgaon. She's from Northeast and married to a Punjabi family. and she started her own Momo venture, right? And over a period of time, her husband also joined that particular venture. She has an outlet here in Delhi somewhere, South Delhi somewhere, where they serve momos. But then their momos are being exported. आपको वो retail stores में नहीं मिले, right? Then there's one more lady in Northeast, which is an agricultural entrepreneur, right? She's the first woman to make wine out of kiwi, right? You have those two brothers organic farming मतलब अगर हम देखा जाए, if I see, there are more social entrepreneurs than any other kind of entrepreneurs, right? And if you look at boat, right, look at matrimony.com, shadi.com, right? If you look at this Nika, right, sugar, all the sharks which have appeared on the Shark Tank, who are they? They are just entrepreneurs. So there's no certain to become an entrepreneur. आपका idea अच्छा होना चाहिए, ideation अच्छा होना चाहिए. You should be able to put that idea into use. You should be able to convert it into a collaboration. You should be able to probably get financing. Everything under the sun would work, right? But yes, at the same time, it should be a little different than what the market already has. Then only you will say that yes, whatever I wanted to do has been probably supported in terms of investors or finance. So you're not limited to one field or the other. You can have less choices of being an entrepreneur. कोई भी बन सकता है, बस persistence चाहिए, consistency चाहिए, और एक vision चाहिए, which you have in your mind to become an entrepreneur, right? So I think I would stop here. In case anybody has a question, please put forward. I'll be happy to answer.
Anybody have a question?
Any questions? You can put that
But
in the chat
Dr.
box.
Dr. Avantika, you have elaborated very well. So I don't think that anybody have a question. And very nice, you have given your presentation and views and how through the entrepreneur, students or any person can be start their career. It was a very nice presentation, and I hope that maybe any of one student can be a entrepreneur after understanding that how they can start their career. So it was a very interesting presentation, and thank you very much. You have given your precious time for us. We will meet soon in the physical mode also. Thank you very much.
Sure, ma'am. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you, everybody. I'll share the presentation with ma'am. You can go through it if you need to. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
So here we wrap up this session. Thank you so much, ma'am. Your insight and expertise made a significant impact, and we are grateful for your valuable contribution. Thank you again for sharing your knowledge. Thank you, everyone, for your presence here.